Moving on to the topic of illegal drugs, we will talk about the effects of cocaine, heroin, and marijuana. Mm. The use the use of highly addictive mood-altering drugs such as cocaine and heroin have become more widespread, especially in poverty-stricken inner city areas where these drugs provide a temporary escape from a daily life of hopelessness. The effects of these drugs include the risk for a wide variety of problems for the baby, including prematurity, low birth weight, physical defects, breathing difficulties, and death at or around the time of birth. In addition, these infants are born drug addicted, feverish, and irritable, and have trouble sleeping, and their cries are abnormally shrill and piercing, which is a common symptom among stressed newborns. هيجي noter and bones toka and zang. Big emma and physical defects. تشان لون يا توك تحرس تنا هيلت أتلنتيات. There are knowing drugs allow luck to help the baby and the mother are very connected to each other while the baby is in the womb. So drug allow addicted vessel and it's an mutihin harsata an chatihi asinin bingaver bigay memlokani. Moving on to the effects of marijuana, we can see that marijuana is more widely used than heroin or cocaine. And we can see the effects of it are resulting in the smaller head size of the baby, to attention, memory, and academic achievement difficulties, to impulsivity and overactivity, depression, as well as anger and aggression in childhood and adolescence. They may also have poor performance in problem solving. Tapos an lusad zakat ya an clock chan tepo among bika chan attention span tepo at sabi kanitan mento clock lama hen akwi no say memma hita hen anger le aggression te an ne te chan problem solving ate han an harsat nan to ko na sabi ke next I hen tobacco topic I hen kano kautan. We can see the effects of tobacco are low birth weight, less attentive to sound, display more muscle tensions, are more excitable when touched and visually stimulated, and more often have colic persistent crying. Shorter attention spans, difficulties with impulsivity and overactivity, poorer memories, lower mental test scores, and higher levels of disruptive aggressive behavior. It's the likelihood of other serious consequences such as miscarriage, prematurity, left equivalent relate, impaired heart rate and breathing during sleep, infant death, and asthma and cancer later in childhood also increases. No, yan, cigarette or a smoke tambole, the greater chances that her baby will be affected. If a pregnant woman stops smoking at any time, even during the third trimester, she reduces the likelihood that her infant will be born underweight and suffer from future problems. Even when note hey smoking mother and can, even if it appears to be born in a physical condition, behavior abnormalities tend to cunning it may threaten the child's development. And tintiang smoking hen fetus a harm kan kitonin. Nicotine, the addictive substance in tobacco, constricts blood vessels, lessens blood flow to their uterus, and causes the placenta to grow abnormally. This reduces the transfers of nutrients, so the fetus gains weight poorly. Also, nicotine raises the concentration of carbon monoxide in the bloodstreams of both mother and fetus. Excessive smoking is also related to low birth weight, infant death, childhood respiratory illnesses, and possible long-term attention, learning, and behavior. Mm. Also, carbon monoxide displaces oxygen from red blood cells, damaging the central nervous system and slowing body growth in the fetuses of laboratory animals. Mihi laboratory and uninsin na anya to similar effects may occur in humans. Mishi nga po kan aron lang sa this is why expectant mothers should avoid smoke-filled environments fully. Moving on to the topic of alcohol, we can see the effects of alcohol to the fetus are fetal alcohol syndrome, also known as FAS, affects the infants in distinctive facial features. For example, a child may have a small head, flat face, and narrow eye openings. Growth problems. Children who were exposed to alcohol before they were born may be smaller than other children of the same age. Learning and behavior problems, birth defects, problems bonding or feeding as a newborn. Fetal alcohol syndrome yan. Infant maya akan notice maya akan facial features akan hong aneya to may tihi apeg bikin amiti asin don nge the alu tihi ate bika an napling te a smooth and a flat bika ni chan growth problems te an rural puya an te do lang puya chan zerna lama te amni jata po har san te po to boka chan an 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 fussy big ememuni and they're babies who are affected by alcohol have problems bonding or feeding as newborns because un uncare big the more alcohol a woman consumes during pregnancy, the poorer the child's motor coordination, speed of information processing, attention, memory, reasoning, and intelligence, and achieving test scores during the preschool and school years. And reasoning te at attention span te, and memory te at and just at the po scored lim big chin in adolescence and early adulthood FASD alam kong o FASD is associated with persistent attention and motor coordination deficits, poor school performance, trouble with law, inappropriate social and sexual behaviors, alcohol and drug abuse, and lasting mental health problems, including high stress reactivity. Physical remote lawa po kan mental lama kan akong buka ito dan bu sete delinquent aron produce chinan ni 2000 drug abuse te alcohol te stress reactivity po sang emin mo dyan intinsyang alcohol yan an effect ang dyan ang kasabar dyan it interferes with production and migration of neurons in the primitive neural tube. Then EEG le MRI research reduce brain size cannot damage to many brain structures and abnormalities in brain functioning, including the electrical and chemical activity involved in transferring messages from one part of the brain to another. The body uses large quantities of oxygen to metabolize alcohol. Chu apoy na chu alcohol and lak ro khanin metabolize na khan oxygen tam takala luda chu naute apum chunga tan khanin oxygen kha amamo ang tok kha adon lo awang khan naute khan cell growth kha aran effect tani chu heavy drinking draws away oxygen that the developing organism needs for cell growth.